Welcome, I'm Fly and today I'll be sharing with you my first thoughts on Ark Nova's new expansion Marine Worlds. I've recently attended this board game convention where Feuerland Spiele made this new expansion available for everyone there to play and give feedback as needed. This expansion is not in its final form yet, as you'll see in a while, but it looks pretty much finished. But as usual, everything is still subject to change, so keep that in mind. So what does this new expansion add? Alright, as you can see, it adds a ton of every card, so more animal cards, more sponsors, more final scoring cards, conservation projects, alternate action cards, we'll get to that in a bit, a new association board. By the way, what I'm showing here is just a placeholder. They don't even have the icons yet, as you can see on the bottom left. Wooden components, so they're making alternate counters, 8 new special enclosures, which are aquariums, 4 large ones and 4 small aquariums, 4 more unique building tiles, more universities, and more of the small kiosks and pavilion tiles. So as you can see, the rulebook they sent is just a few scraps of paper. There's printed, they're not even final yet, but I believe all of this is publicly available. So pretty much every animal this expansion adds is an aquatic animal of some sort. Here are a few pictures of a few animals. So these new animals, like the old ones, have a requirement on the top left corner, as you can see. There's nothing different there, so the thing that's different is the color on the size of the hexagon. It's now red, so it means these animals can only be housed in an aquarium. The number inside is just the size of the animal. For other cards that states the size of an animal, so that's just it. The other icon on its right, it's how many spaces it needs in an aquarium. So large aquariums have 5 spaces, small aquariums have 2 spaces. So you need, for this compass jellyfish, you need 2 cubes. You need to place 2 cubes on an aquarium to fit this jellyfish inside it. So aquariums in this expansion are just like aviary and reptile houses from the base game, in which one holds birds and the other one holds reptiles. In this case it holds fishes. But the exception is you can't house fishes anywhere else, whereas in the base game you can house either birds or reptiles in a normal enclosure. They just take more space. It's more optimal to house them in their specific enclosure. Well, this is just the same. So these are the new aquarium enclosures. As you can see, they have a water icon on them, which means you need to build them next to at least one water terrain. And as usual, like the aviary and reptile house, you can only build one of each, so which means you can build one large and one small aquarium. But unlike the aviary and the reptile house from the base game, you don't need the build action cards to be at level 2. You can actually build this right from the get-go. You can build both of them if you want at the beginning of the game. Here are a few more fishes. So in this case there are some animals that actually can be housed in both a normal enclosure, like this African penguin on the bottom left, which requires 3 spaces on a normal enclosure, or 2 cubes on an aquarium. Usually those are amphibian animals. And here you can also see some really big animals, like the shark on the top row, which requires 3 cubes on an aquarium. In this case, when some animal requires a lot of cubes, you can actually cut the animal in half, so to speak, and place 2 cubes in a small aquarium and the rest in a large aquarium. These are the new bonus tiles. Some of them have a white background and the bonus tile flip icon. What this means is when you pick one of them from the track, you get to keep it in your play area, and you can use it whenever by flipping it to the other side and use the special action. These are the new university partnership tiles. So now during setup, you now place this new tile, which you can see on the top right, this new generic tile. There's a new spot on the association board to place it. And when you take the association action, you get this new tile to pick from, but you don't actually take this tile. Take one of the other 6, which depicts the research icon and one other animal category icon. So you take the tile, you make the generic tile unavailable for anyone going next. So and then it resets at a break. But you pick one of these tiles, which shows the research icon and an animal of your choice, and it has this small magnifying glass icon, which means drawing cards until you find one animal of this type, and you get to keep it. And as usual, this makes for another of these icons in your zoo. These are just 2 of the new special enclosures that come from the sponsorship cards. Here are a few cards for some new conservation projects. So as you can see here in the middle, they've updated the icon for different continent icons, and on the right they've updated the different animal category icon as well. And here are some of the new final scoring cards. A few of the new sponsor cards. By the way, you can tell which cards are from the base game and the expansion from this small seahorse icon on the left hand side. And finally, here are the new action cards. There are now 4 additional new action cards. Among these 5, of course, there is the original base card. So as you can see, all of them have some kind of special ability. So the way this works is during setup, each player randomly draws 3 of these, and you'll pick one of them and pass the other 2 to your left. So basically you're drafting these action cards, so when the draft finishes, you'll have 3 cards in your hand and you'll pick 2 of them to swap for your older matching action cards. So what this does is giving the game a slight asymmetry by providing players with an ability of their own. So this doesn't make the game any shorter, it just gives you a little bit of everything. Well, let's talk about the most prominent element first, which is the new animal cards. As usual, you're limited to the luck of the draw in this game, so you gotta work with what you have. But the thing is, among all of these new cards, I mean, look at this deck, this is huge. I mean, I get it, yeah, the cards are sleeved, but still, it's a huge pile of cards. You'll never go through these cards in a single game. But amongst all these cards, you still manage to find a few fishes. That's a good thing, because if you have noticed, all of the new cards have this wave icon on their right hand side. What this does is, when one of these cards appears on the display, it flushes the older card on the display to the discard pile, thus cycling the cards more often. This was the state of a discard pile by the end of our 2-player game. So as you can see, there's a ton of cards here because they get discarded every often, but of course there's a lot of cards we didn't get to see either. And it's relatively easy to play these fishes as well, so you need an aquarium to house the fishes. It's really easy to build one, so you can build one from right from the beginning of the game. You don't need the build action cards to be on level 2 to do it. You can build it whenever. So you can build it and you can house the fishes right away. Most fishes require very few space, like 1 or 2 cubes, sometimes even no cube at all. But the really cool thing about it is that most fishes, they're really weak on the scoring side, but they have this reef dwelling ability, which you can see here on the right hand of the card. What this ability does is it provides for a small yet clever small fish engine building element. Whenever you play a fish with this icon, you get to activate every fish on your tableau with that icon and do the ability depicted on it. If you've played the game Earth, it's pretty much like that, where let's say you pick the yellow action and then you get to activate all the cards in your tableau that have the yellow banner on it. And this is the same thing but with fishes. The new bonus tiles, some of them are really cool. Some of them you get to keep for the special action, you can use it whenever. And some of them provide for really cool combos when used properly. And being able to build both the small and large aquariums without needing to flip the build action card gives a lot of flexibility. Now the new action cards. They allow for a slight asymmetry between players and provides with a few interesting twists. But unfortunately, they're very situational. So the person I was playing with, she never got a chance to use any of the card's special ability because it just never came up. it was never a good time to use it. I did manage to use one of my card's abilities in a really good way, so this was the level 2 of my association card. As you can see, it has an ability where you can place additional workers to reduce the strength required by 2. So with this card, a couple of cross tokens and one of the new bonus tiles, I managed to pull 2 level 5 association actions back to back, one from level 3 and the following one from level 1. So I made a really good use of it, and still lost the game. The other player didn't go for as many fishes as I did. I always try to go for the new thing to see what the fuss is all about, but anyway, she played just like a regular game of Ark Nova, but the thing is, most fishes just aren't worth that many points. I did manage to play like 4 of them throughout the game. I wanted to play more, but I didn't get a chance to. So at the beginning I said it doesn't make the game any shorter, but it might. Because if you make use of the new action card abilities, paired with some of the new bonus action tiles, it makes for really clever combos, which can speed up the game considerably. And this is the final state of the scoring board. As you can see, I've lost by a mile. My markers didn't even cross. I'm blue, by the way. There's one thing that got me confused about the new action cards though. It's just that the rulebook states that some of these actions retain all their old abilities and they add new ones, new abilities with discounts and whatnot, but the texts on some of the new cards don't match the older ones. Let's say, for example, the sponsors level 2 action cards, the new action cards don't allow you to play sponsors from the display within reputation range, whereas the old ones do. I don't know if it's a misprint, if it actually loses that ability. I'm not sure. So overall, I really enjoyed this expansion. I still need to play it more, of course. It's under development, so it's not available yet. I just think the new action cards need a few small adjustments to make them right, but other than that, I really enjoyed everything else. The new animals with their new special abilities, the flushing ability, which gets the cards to cycle more often. I really like that. The new aquariums, I also really like that. You get to play them from the get-go. You're not needing to upgrade your build action. The new university tiles are really good, more animal icons into your zoo, really like that. And the new bonus tiles are awesome, the ones you get to keep and use them for a free action, they're just amazing. They make for really clever, cool combos. And that's it for now, I hope you enjoyed it, thanks for watching and until next time.